that video. So it's the same thing with database. Database is also the same thing to memory card. Database is just a software instead of a memory card, a hardware that database is a software. So welcome to this video. My name is Muubii Bytes. I'm a back-end developer and AI agent engineer. So in today's video, I'm going to explain the concept of database. So if you are a beginner and new to this term called database, just sit down, relax, and I'm going to explain what database is in a simple way. So look at database like this, or maybe let's say you have a smartphone and you want to store you want maybe one of your friends send you your picture. Maybe he snap you with his own phone, and you want that picture. So you want your friend to send you that picture and you store it in your phone. So in that case, you need a memory card, because if you don't have memory card in your phone, maybe let's say 25 gig or maybe 32 gig memory card, you need that kind of memory card. If you don't have memory card, you know that it's not possible that your phone is going to send you the message. And sorry, I said message. Your phone cannot be able to store the picture or maybe the movie. So you need a memory card. So in this case, the memory card is what we call the database. That means when your friend send you the picture from his phone to your phone, then this memory card is the thing that is going to be able to store the picture for later, or I said for future use or for future access. Without the memory card, there is no way your phone is going to store that image, or your phone going to store that video. So it's the same thing with database. Database is also the same thing to memory card. Database is just a software instead of a memory card, a hardware that database is a software that can be able to store the information you send to it. So I hope now you understand what database is. Database is a software that can be able to store the information you send to it. Let me give you an example. WhatsApp. whatsapp WhatsApp is a chatting platform, but sometimes we use it to share media files, for example, like picture, audio, and so on and so forth. So when someone sends you a video through WhatsApp, you can be able to see that video. And if you do not delete the video, even for a very long time, you can be able to open the chat and you can be able to see that video. So where did that video been stored? Well, the video is being stored inside a database, either your phone database or a WhatsApp server database. I'm going to explain very well. So that video is going to be stored in a database so that you can be able to look at it in the later. So database is just a memory where it can be able to store information. That is a very simple term. So how do we send information to database? Because in WhatsApp is very simple. I can just click in your chat and then click media file, then send you a picture. But how programs or application can be able to send information to database, and how database store that information? So the way you see information in your memory card is completely different from database. That memory card, you see in a file like this, you can be able to click one of them, play it, and see what is it. But in database is different. Database is store information in two ways. We call it SQL and no SQL. Remember that database is just a memory where it's going to store information, and it has two ways of storing that information, which is SQL and no SQL. So what SQL means? SQL means the database is store the information in a very structured way, which is structured query language. That's SQL what it means. For example, look at it this way. let's say example of library. Yes, SQL just like a library. You go, you see a lot of cabinet of books. Yes, is it called a cabinet or shelf? So you see a shelf of different types of book, bio, science, arts, government, and so on. So maybe when you want a science textbook, maybe chemistry or physics, you go directly to that shelf that's called science textbook, and you look for a science, a chemistry textbook. That's query language, and that's structure query language. This kind of database is store information in a structured format, while the other one is opposite, no SQL, is store information in a random way. So just like a market, you might see a person selling this kind of type of this, then go there, you find another, maybe in a single row you can find a different kind of business person. This one selling this kind of items, the other person selling this kind of item, and so on and so forth. So SQL is a type of database that store information in structured way. NoSQL is a type of database that store information in a no structured way. So how this SQL store information? Well, it store the information in a row and columns. Here what it means. This is how SQL store information. It has something what we call ID. So then you have this place in a database, or I said the whole this thing is called a table in a database. And every single table is to some kind different of information. Maybe this is a table for student, or maybe this is a table that's to teacher information, or maybe this is a table that's to academic record for student. So every table his to is particular a particular, or I say a specific type of information, or as a specific type of object information. So let's say this table is a table that's going to store student information. So since this table is going to store student information, we're going to check the name of the student. Uh, Remember your register. Maybe when your form master come into your class, just pull out his register and start calling your name, and you said you are there, you answer present. You are not there, your friend, you answer no present. So that's the way they structure that register. It's almost the same thing to SQL. So it has a table, and that table consume a have row and columns, and this columns is called field. That means it's telling you what kind of information are you going to store in this column. So the first column is called field, and every field is going to tell you what kind of information are you going to store. For example, now I said name, and then the second one maybe I said age, second one I write grade, and the second one I write oh, let's leave it like that. So this one, that means everything that I'm going to put below it is going to be a name of student. So this one is going to be, let's say, Ali, Peter, Moses, and this age maybe is going to be 20, 10, 19, and then grade maybe this is going to be A, C, B, for example. So, and then is this ID is what we call auto increment, which is this ID is going to be very unique. Or I said it must be unique in every row. This is the row and this is the column. So every column telling you what kind of information are you going to store in that column, and every row represents an information for a single student. So for us to be able to access a single student, every single student must have a unique ID, which is we can say, okay, give me the student that has ID of 1, and then we say the name of the student is Ali, his age is 20, his grade is A. I hope you understand. So this ID have 1, 2, 3. So the ID is unique. If I add another row of information, it's going to be 4. I add another one, 5, 6, 7. It's going to continue auto increment. So in SQL, this is how the information is being stored. Very structured way. Table, row, and column. So this is SQL. So in our next tutorial, we might be able to we're going to see how what is NoSQL and how NoSQL works, how it differ from SQL database. So let's say I'm going to access this student ID. I will say the ID1. Give me the student of ID1. Then the name of ID1 is Ali. The age is 20. The grade is A. So you see, using his ID, I can be able to access all his information. So this is how SQL works.